This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is Roger Dumoulin-White from Theralase Technologies, publicly traded company with the two symbols, TLT on the TSX Venture and TLTFF on the OTC. Roger, welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks, Bobby. Great to be here.
It's great to have you back. So before we get into that update, let's get an overview of the company first, and then we'll go from there.
Well, we have two main divisions. We have our Therapeutic Laser Division, where we manufacture therapeutic lasers, which are used for eliminating pain, reducing inflammation, accelerating tissue healing. As you probably remember, we had a new product that was launched December 2015. We've been building the sales, the marketing into Canada and the US. We're starting to see some nice traction with that technology. Our second division is our PDT division, our photodynamic therapy division. It's our anti-cancer technology. We are developing this technology for the treatment of non-muscle invasive bladder cancer. We received approval, a CTA approval from Health Canada on the drug TLD-1433. In October 2016, we received approval on the laser system that activates the drug. And so we're very quickly moving to clinical trials with this technology.
Okay, so start to touch on a little bit of an update there. So let's, our last interview I believe was in June this year.
That's correct.
So let's get an update since then.
Right, with the TLT division, we've been building out the sales and the marketing team in Canada and the US, so we're starting to see some nice growth and traction moving forward with that. In our anti-cancer division, the sticking point has always been to get approval on the laser system that activates it. So we've got approval on what's called the TLC-3200 and the TLC-3400. The TLC-3200 is the medical laser, which actually emits the light. The TLC-3400 is what's called a DFOC, or a dosimetry fiber optic cage, and that's what's used for detecting the light coming back along the walls of the bladder. So that technology got approved by Health Canada through an ITA in October 2016. We have the UHN REB approval, which is the Review Ethics Board approval, so we're all set to go. We're just signing the final documents and getting ready to move to clinical trials. Once we start that, we think it's going to be quite impressive in the sense we're moving from a preclinical company to a clinical company. So then once that trial's open, we'll start enrolling patients, we'll start treating them. The design of the clinical trial is 3 subjects at a low dose with a 30-day follow-up, and then 6 subjects at a higher dose with a 6-month follow-up. It'll take us approximately a year, depending on enrollment.
And I know we touched on this a little bit in our previous interview, but I wanted to kind of expand on it further. What would you say is your main competitive advantage over what's currently available out there?
Well, on the therapeutic division, our main advantage is that we're able to deposit light at specific depths of tissue. Individuals, patients come in various skin colorations, sizes, heights, weights, etc. So it affects the amount of light that goes down into tissue. Our technology is able to adjust automatically for that. So we're able to give a much more consistent dose of light at tissue depth. Therefore, you're going to get higher efficacy with that technology. In our anti-cancer division, the positives are quite strong. If you're looking at the standards of care for oncology, you're either looking at surgery, where you try to cut the cancer out, you're looking at chemotherapy, where you use very powerful cytotoxic drugs to try to destroy it, or you use linear accelerators, you use irradiation to destroy it. All of them have quality impacts, quality of life impacts, they have side effects, they have a lot of issues for the patients. What our technology, the photodynamic therapy being the light-activated drug, does is we're targeting just the cancer cells and trying not to affect the healthy tissue. The other surgery, chemo, radiation, also dramatically impair the immune system, which is really what's keeping us alive. And with our technology, we've seen that it strengthens the immune system and actually emboldens it. So clear differentiation. If we're successful clinically, I think it'll make a dramatic improvement in patients' lives.
And also for those who don't know, what are the company's target indications from the outset?
Right now, we're looking at non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, so that's going to be our target. It's an intravesical installation of the drug, so through the urethra into the bladder, and a light activation, the DFOC, into the bladder. We've had some very strong preclinical data, although the sample size has only been one rat, on glioblastoma multiforme, a very deadly form of brain cancer, as you well know. With brain cancer, it's a very aggressive tumor. It attacks patients without any previous knowledge or experience. It also, untreated, the lifespan of the patient is typically 3 to 6 months. With the most aggressive treatments, surgery, chemo, radiation, you're looking about an average or a median lifespan about 14 months. In this rat model, and not to say that it's comparable to humans, but in this rat model, we are able to increase the lifespan of that rat 925%. So if you did translate that to human years, it's somewhere in the 5 to 10 year range of increase. So quite dramatic. We'd love to move forward with that. So obviously non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, but then we'd love to move into glioblastoma multiforme or brain cancer based on our ability to move forward and meet those targets from a clinical basis.
Well, with glioblastoma multiforme, doesn't that, I know in some cases that makes you eligible for fast track designation. Is that a possibility potentially, from what you can tell me, for you?
Well, again, it's up to the regulators, right, at the FDA, Health Canada, but obviously if you can show safety and tolerability data, if you can show some efficacy data, you can support it. Yes, there are a number of provisions. There's fast track, breakthrough, a number of different things, obviously up to the regulators to make that final decision. But if they feel that your technology has merit, then they try to work hand in hand with the company to bring it forward. Because if you can help people and make an impact on such a deadly disease, they try to assist that. So they've been very supportive in that.
You're right now looking for approvals in Canada. Are you also looking potentially in the U.S. as well?
Absolutely. So on the non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, it's a phase 1B clinical trial. That will just be in Canada. So those are 9 patients in Canada. We are applying right now for an IND, investigational new drug, with the U.S. As we expand into a phase 2, if we're successful on a phase 1B, we would move into a phase 2 clinical trial. That would include Canada, the U.S., and Europe. We would be looking at about 25 sites. With glioblastoma multiforme, or GBM, we'd be looking to start in Canada and the U.S., and then we'd expand again, if we were successful, into a phase 2, Canada, the U.S., and Europe.
So you touched on a few points that I'm about to ask in the following question, but from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's goals and milestones for the first half of 2017? Only what you can tell me.
Of course. What we'd like to see in our TLT division is to continue to gain momentum moving forward with our TLC 2000 technology in Canada, the U.S., and hopefully some international countries. But the main focus is Canada and the U.S. as we build out those teams. With our anti-cancer division, we'd like to start our phase 1B clinical trial this year, and then start to enroll patients for that. We'd also like to get underway with a phase 1B into glioblastoma multiforme. So those would be our 2 main objectives in that division.
And where can our audience go and find more information about Theralase?
Theralase, you can go to our website, www.theralase.com, THERALASE.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me again is Roger Dumoulin-White from Theralase Technologies, publicly traded company with the 2 symbols, TLT on the TSX Venture, TLTFF on the OTC. Roger, thank you again as always.
Bobby, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.